And welcome on this Monday night to beautiful Petco Park, the scene. First of a three-game series coming up with the Miami Marlins. Chase Headley showing his form of late, 368, a 10-game hitting streak for the man who led the National League in RBIs a year ago. Yes, indeed. First of three, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon, the Padres and the young Miami Marlins. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, the Padres now have won 8 of their last 11. A nice little victory run. They get the series win against the Arizona Diamondbacks and now entertain Miami, a team that we're going to have to very carefully introduce you to man by man.
Yeah, it's a new team, a new look for manager Mike Redmond, a new manager, and he's getting familiar with that manager's chair. So we've got some interesting things to talk about. The one thing that I like, Dick, is the 2-out thunder that this Padre team has been putting out lately.
My coaches and my dad used to say, hey, what counts is the money hits,
yes,
the clutch hits, the guys that come up there with 2 outs and keep it going.
Hey, maybe this can be the identity of the 2013 Friars, because last year they did a nice job late in the season come up with some big hits. But it's not just 1 or 2 guys in the lineup. It's everybody collectively, especially yesterday. Jed Jerko, Will Venable going back-to-back with those big hits. Hey, maybe the opposing pitcher relaxes a little bit, but it tells you one thing about the intestinal fortitude of this club. With 2 outs, we're not going to give up. We're going to put together good at-bats, and that's exactly what we have seen lately.
Evidence, 11 of 24 home runs with 2 outs. Now the Miami Marlins. Some of these names are familiar, but they're not in the Miami uniform tonight. And here they are, the fish that got away. Mark Burley and Jose Reyes and Josh Johnson are up in Canada. Heath Bell, we just saw him this weekend in Arizona.
Big contracts gone away. Mark Burley, Reyes, Johnson, Bell, see ya. But one thing is for certain with the Miami Marlins. They've got some guys, a little sprinkling of rookies, plus with some veteran guys like Juan Pierre. Kevin Slowey's been around the block. So you got a pitcher to help out the rotation. You've got Juan Pierre to help guys that play the field. Polanco's been around since, 1948? My point is, with the veterans and Echeverria, who's a rookie, I think this is a nice mix to learn on the job, get an opportunity to play for the Miami Marlins.
Hey, Echeverria yesterday in Philadelphia hit a grand slam homer and a bases loaded triple his first 2 at-bats, and they say, wait till you see his glove. This young Cuban is magical. So we're in for a treat in that regard as well. Well, the Padres, too, have an outstanding rookie, don't they? He only leads all of the major leagues in most hits. 30 hits for West Virginia's Jed Jerko. We'll hear what Buddy Black thinks about his rookie.
as the Padres welcome the Marlins to San Diego for a 3-game set to start the week. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura McKeeman, and welcome to Petco Park. Well, the rookie is heating up. Jed Jerko has 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and 5 RBI in his last 13 games. He set a career high with 3 hits on Friday night and went 2 for 4 last night. One of those 2 hits being his second big league home run. Bud Black has high praise for the young second baseman, and our Geico quote of the game.
You know, Jed is a very instinctual player. You know, he's a very good competitor. You know, this guy, you know, whatever it is, tiddlywinks, you know, shooting basketball in spring training. You know, he's a competitive guy, and he figures things out. I think the learning curve for Jed will be quicker than some, because I do think his mind works the right way.
Well, Jed Jerko looking to do his thing again tonight. He's been so good as a rookie, and so many people have been so impressed by what he can do. Coming up tonight, we've got your Padres starter, Andrew Kashner. He's looking to fry the fish with his heater and start this series with a W. It's the Padres and the Marlins just around the corner. Dick Enberg and Mark Grant with the call.
Diamondbacks over the weekend entertained the Miami Marlins, who beat San Diego 5 out of 6 last year, and then were 3-0 here at Petco. So beware tonight's Marlins lineup, brought to you by Hyundai, with Juan Pierre, the veteran base stealer, good leadoff man in left field, Valleca at second, Polanco at third, Ruggiano is the cleanup hitter, leads in their power department. Ozuna, the brilliant young rookie, he's just been up 6 games, and he's been tearing things apart. A big, strong right fielder. Greg Dobbs at first base, a veteran. Another youngster, Rob Brantley, behind the plate. Adeni Echeverria, the shortstop. He had the 2 swings and 7 RBIs against the Phils yesterday. And a familiar name, Wade LeBlanc, former Padre from the University of Alabama, makes his home in Lake Charles, Louisiana, is on the mound tonight.
Andrew Kashner, the hard-thrown right-hander, on the mound tonight. And here's the scouting report. Announce his presence of authority. Give him the heater. I think last time out in Chicago, kind of tried to throw too many off-speed pitches. He's got a darn good fastball, and like Buddy Black said before the game, if he can locate good fastballs, he should have a good night tonight against Miami. Brought to you by Jaguar, the scouting report tonight. Thank you, Jaguar of San Diego.
Cashner looks in, gets a sign from Hundley, and we're underway. And he starts with a fastball at 94 miles an hour, just out of the zone. Pierre is a punch hitter. He'll spray it around. And he hits this one to left field. Quinton camped out there for the first down. And that takes us to our San Diego Padre defense tonight. It's brought to you by Aramco Mortgage. Quinton, we just saw him catch the first out of the game. Denorfian center. Kyle Blanks will play right field. Chase Headley at one corner, Yonder Alonso at the other. Everett Cabrera starts again, the only Padre to start every game. Jerko at second. Hundley will handle Cashner's deliveries. And the second man up is Chris Valleca, 27-year-old from Santa Monica, University of California, Santa Barbara.
The Gauchos.
Signed a minor league free agent contract with the Marlins. He's 27 years of age. Has played some Major League ball, a few games with Cincinnati, 63 total. Fouled into the glove of Hundley.
You know, a lot of opportunity knocking for these Miami Marlins, don't you think, Dick? With the trades they made, we talked about it in our open. And, you know, sure, they're going to struggle. And I know Mike Redmond, the manager, his first year, he expects that, but he's been positive. He's got a great staff behind him in Miami.
95, strike two. You know, it's like a college team when you're down around the dugout. Yeah, they've got some veterans, Pierre being one and Polanco. But basically, these are young lads down there that say, this is, yeah, we got a chance to be here a long time.
One of the best around. Tino Martinez, I know.
Valleca overpowered with a fastball of Cashner.
I know a lot of people who are Padre fans got to go back to 1998 and not really fond of Tino Martinez. We can get that a little later. And looks like Valleca not too fond of that fastball. And there's Tino. Mark Langston, yeah, he struck you out, dude. He had you struck out.
Looks like he could still step in there and get you a base knock.
He's in great shape and a great hitting coach. A great baseball guy to have on Mike Redmond's staff.
Placido Polanco, the 37-year-old veteran from the Dominican. St. Louis, Philadelphia, Detroit, Philadelphia, now Miami. A line drive center field right at Denorfia. A quick first inning. 1-2-3 for Andrew Cashner. Denorfia will lead it off with the Padres. Padres baseball, brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Chipotle Chicken Club combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. Center fielder Kristen Orfia leads it off for the Padres against left-hander Wade LeBlanc. And he swings at the first pitch and hits a high fly to center. Ruggiano with a grab. 1 pitch, 1 out. Tonight's Padre lineup is brought to you by Toyota. Cabrera now steps up. Then Chase Headley, Carlos Quinton in the cleanup spot. Big Kyle Blanks will hit 5th. And Yonder Alonso leads in home runs and RBIs. Jed Jerko leads all of the major leagues. Most hits by a rookie, 30. Then Nick Hundley and Andrew Kashner. And we've seen that Kashner can swing the bat. LeBlanc, now 28 years of age, drafted by the Padres 7 years ago in the 2nd round. Cabrera at 258. LeBlanc does not throw hard. His changeup may be his best pitch.
Yeah, you know, he throws about 87, 88, topping out with his fastball. He'll throw that changeup as well. He'll cut it a little bit, and a curveball. He's got to really stay out of the heart of the plate. Try to trick those hitters, keep them off balance.
Padres traded LeBlanc to Miami for catcher John Baker last year, before last season.
Now, remember when Wade was a Padre, he didn't used to go over his head with his delivery. He just had his hands in front of that Miami or Padres when he was here and kind of kept his hands there. But he told me that he wanted to get more of a rhythm going. That's when he went back to over the head there to get that good rhythm going towards home plate.
And he walks Cabrera. Everett has walked more than any Padre. That's his 15th free ticket.
And here's a little bit more information on Wade LeBlanc. It's brought to you by Nissan. Hey, don't hang the breaker. He doesn't throw that hard. He's got to be down by the shoe tops and live on the corners with that fastball, because if he misses towards the middle of the plate, he's going to give up a lot of hits. And in 30-plus innings this year, Dick, 43 hits, 9 walks, that's 52 base runners in 30-plus innings. That's a lot out of the stretch.
376 batting average against. His lifetime, as Headley takes ball 1, lifetime, he's allowed opposing hitters over a 300 average. So Padres figure to get some base hits. As we've seen when he was a Padre, Wade LeBlanc might get a couple on, and he induces a lot of double play balls.
So they need a lot of extra base hits tonight.
That's what you're talking about. Nubbed, first base side foul. That had a lot of English on it.
Well, we're going to have our friends at Southland Technology and the Fox Tracks taking a look at pitches tonight. How Wade LeBlanc and Andrew Kashner are going to be trying to dot that strike zone tonight.
How about Kashner? That first inning, only 8 pitches.
Yep.
All fastballs.
You can see the Fox Tracks trying to keep it down and away with that changeup. Changeup was the last pitch.
Just a little at the top of the strike zone for ball 2. 2-1. Quinton and then Blanks here in the Padre first inning. Cabrera with a club lead, 8 stolen bases. Trails the National League leader Pierre, who has 11. Oh, that's another point about LeBlanc. He's got a very good move to first. That wasn't it, but has a good one. There they are, the leaders in the National League. Pierre of the Marlins leading the way. Cabrera right there.
Well, being behind in the count, 2-1 LeBlanc. See if he uses a slide step. Good spot for fastball too, if this is in fact a running situation. There's that cut fastball. You know, Wade LeBlanc knows that he's not going to be throwing a lot of pitches and have a lot of swings and misses. So he'll cut that fastball in to the right-handed hitters.
That young lad right in the middle of supper able to come up with a baseball.
Life's good. He's got some grub. Now he's got a big league baseball to go home with tonight.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Go.
Line foul.
Trying to time LeBlanc there, so find something different in his delivery as opposed to going over to first base. Go Navy.
Yeah. LeBlanc, 6'3", 200 pounds, 28 years of age. At Petco, LeBlanc 8-9. Listen to this though, his ERA at Petco 2.97. That's a full run plus over his major league average. And wouldn't you know it, first time out, Chase Headley, count 3-2.
Yeah, and you know another thing I looked at? As you look at the way that LeBlanc's trying to pitch him, you know, the runner on first, maybe, just maybe, being a little bit too quick. Maybe, you know, you look at those last 3 pitches, look at, maybe he's trying to be a little bit too quick to the plate and leaving those pitches up and away to Headley.
Cabrera figures to be running here, and he is. Struck out. Headley, throw to second, not in time. Number 9 for Cabrera.
Looked like a slider or a cut fastball. Ooh, Wade LeBlanc nearly got it right in the number. It was a short hop.
Yeah, ball was there in time, but it bounced high. And Cabrera able to elude the tag barely. Brings up Quinton in the midst of an 0-for-14 slump. Last home run was 10 games ago. Brings that one over the outside corner as we look at the Marlins defense, brought to you by Hyundai. We'll wait here until we get a foul ball or a delay in action. One and one. Change up.
Saw a lot of changeups yesterday.
Didn't we?
Ian Kennedy, my goodness.
He said after the game that he just had no rhythm on his fastball, so he just went to the changeup. Finally cost him. Popped up. Coming down from first is Dobbs. The catcher's calling, and he drops the ball, and the Padres get a run. Oh my! Bradley should have given way for Dobbs coming down from first base. He had the easier play, a longer run, mind you, but he had a better beat on it, and Bradley staggering under that ball that was curling back into fair territory.
Yep. You know what? You know what Brantley needs to do? He needs to turn the other way, right? He's got to turn his back to the infield and call everybody off, wave his arms. That's like catching 101 on the high pop fly at home plate. You immediately turn your back to the infield because that ball's got rotation. It's going to be coming back to you.
So a walk and an error, and the Padres are gifted a run here in the first.
Boy, you've seen some crazy things, huh? That's something you don't see every day.
Right up the elevator shaft, and as you pointed out, it's a tough play because the spin of the ball is going to bring it back into fair territory. Blank's a solid 293 since being called up from Tucson with the injury to Cameron Maben. Going to make decisions difficult when Maben is healthy and can return. His play is solid. Sneaks the fastball by him.
That's why you run hard with 2 outs, right? Cabrera running the whole way.
Good point.
You gotta bust your tail. 2 outs. If you're on first base, it doesn't matter. You gotta go.
That applies to every league at every level. Here is the defense of the Marlins, brought to you by Hyundai. Pierre Ruggiano and Ozuna in the outfield. Polanco, Echeverria, Valleca, Dobbs on the infield, and Brantley, we've just seen him in embarrassing drop of that pop fly of Quentin. Carlos at first, 2 outs, and the Padres with an unearned run here in the first. And so Cabrera, because that ball's right around home plate. If he's not hustling, he doesn't make it. Now he starts running hard.
He really turned up after he got to third base. You betcha. He could smell trouble. Took advantage of it.
3-2 to Blanks. Ball 4. A rough first inning for Wade LeBlanc. A couple of walks and an error. 2 men on now with a run home, and Yonder Alonso the batter. 22 pitches already for LeBlanc. Clayton Richard, although down 12 pounds and on the disabled list, feeling better. He's trying to get himself back in a 100% healthy condition there with Corey Ludke.
Oh, Corey's really working that cheek late, wasn't he? It looked like a dog with peanut butter in his mouth. Did you ever give your dog peanut butter as a kid? Come on, that's always a blast.
No, we wouldn't do that.
And then you'd count the licks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got up to 40 once with my dog.
Just trying to find the jelly, huh? 1-1 to Alonso. Trying to add to his 4 home runs. 20 runs batted in. Club leader.
Oh, look at those big eyes, huh? Watching the big leaguers, hoping to be there someday.
1-2 to the Miami native, Yonder Alonso, University of Miami.
Pretty straight up, huh?
He can hit left-handers.
Yeah.
In fact, his numbers are even more impressive because he's had less at-bats against lefties. Quentin at second. Blanks at first. 2-2. Alonso. Soft roller to second. Easy play for Valleca. And he throws him out. Padres get an unearned run. No hits. Lead 2.
Making his 4th start of the year. Let's check out what the 26-year-old right-hander did in the first inning. Pierre, fastball, got him to fly out to left field. Second hitter, Valeka, go down swinging with the high heater. Polanco, little fly ball to center field, 1-2-3 first. And you know what, folks? He is announcing his presence with authority. All fastballs, 8 fastballs, 8 pitches in that 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Cashner. A great start for the right-hander.
By design?
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly believe that. No question.
Justin Ruggiano, a 236 average, but good power numbers. Leads the Marlins. That fastball riding outside. Swing and a miss, and there's the first non-fastball, a changeup.
You know, I've always had a philosophy that if you're a power pitcher like that, if you throw above 95, and if you can locate, prove to me that you can hit it. Prove to me you can hit it. There's another changeup, back-to-back changeups. And then, as a pitcher, you can make an adjustment. If they're starting to turn it around, you know, they're, you know, taking some good hacks, feeling comfortable, then you can try to mix it up a little bit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ruggiano slaps that one foul.
Got to be careful with that off-speed pitch. That was the slider left up a little bit.
Two and two. The Giants hosting Philadelphia, 3-game series after sweeping the Dodgers over the weekend, and they've taken over sole possession of first place in the West. And he's outside again, 3 straight pitches off the plate away. And he walks him from 0-2. Leadoff man is walked. Well, this season the Padres are proud to offer first responders recognition pricing. Members of the first responders community can receive $6 off available tickets priced $14 or higher. Some restrictions may apply, so visit the Petco Park box office for all details. And tonight they saluted before the game the San Diego Fire Rescue Foundation, Police Officers Association. Nice anthem by David Mosby in his bass voice.
Oh, he was great, wasn't he?
There goes the runner, and the throw by Hundley is high. In with a steal is Ruggiano. His 5th stolen base this season.
Got a fastball to run on. Good jump. Little high from Nick Hundley, though, working underneath it. And, you know, Jed Jerko, he couldn't come up that ball because it was high, but when you look at Ruggiano, he looked like he overslid the bag a little bit, so he'll probably remember that next time, kind of keep that tag on Ruggiano if, in fact, he tries to steal again.
Swing and a miss by young Marcel Ozuna, 22 years of age, Dominican Republic. 4 hits yesterday in his 6th game in the major leagues, called up because of the injury to Giancarlo Stanton. They really think he's something special. They didn't want to bring him up this soon, but they needed a right fielder, and he's got a right fielder's arm as well. He's already hit a home run in those 6 games. Last year, they give 3 gold gloves in the minor leagues for all of the minor leagues. He received 1 of them. Two and 1 the count. That's in the strike zone at 95.
Andrew Cashner has the delivery of 85, but the ball out of the hand is 95. We've mentioned it before. Free and easy from Andrew Cashner.
Ground ball sharply right at Cabrera. That'll hold the runner, and 1 away. Well, their one young star player is Giancarlo Stanton, and he injures himself running out this swinging bunt and pulls a hamstring on the 15-day DL. You don't know quite how long it'll take for those to recover. It depends on the severity, but
those hurt. Believe me, those hurt. You can see after that he hit the deck.
Now, the Achilles is the worst, but that hamstring can cost you a month. And manager Mike Redmond certainly misses his talent, and so far Ozuna has filled the bill. Here's Greg Dobbs, veteran left-handed hitter. Good hitter last year with a .285 average. So far this year at .240. 34 years of age. Went to Riverside Community College and then on to the University of Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner.
Foul back.
Good two-seam action on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. You know, one thing that I was glad to see as we take a look at the two-seam action there is the pitch to Ozuna where he grounded short. It was a good hard fastball on the inside part of the plate, got in his kitchen.
And that one started right over the heart of the plate, and the two-seamer took it right to the outside. Against Dobbs, 1-1. Well, the Padres were gifted a run, and so far in this inning, San Diego's generous. A walk, a stolen base, and now, depending on how they call it, wild pitch or pass ball to place the tying run at third with 1 out.
Well, let's see. Outside, Nick Hundley set up. He just didn't turn his glove the right way. He tried to do the old fingers up rather than the fingers down, and that's going to be ruled a pass ball.
So, without the aid of a hit, Marlins have the tying run at third. 1 away. And here, the spot where you'd like to get that strikeout. Infield plays back up the middle. In at the corners. Line drive. Cabrera didn't carry. Off the bat, looked like that was going to score a run, but a soft liner for the second out.
Looked like a changeup from Andrew Kastner. Off the end of the bat. Thank goodness it doesn't hit it on the sweet spot, because that'll dump in there.
And thank goodness the Padre infield in the middle playing back. Yep. Otherwise that does drop for a hit.
Yep, it's early, a lot of baseball left. Now with 2 outs, everybody's back playing regular position in the infield.
Here's San Diego born Rob Brantley. Went to UC Riverside. He's got some friends and family here. Center field. Denorfia positioned perfectly for the final out. No runs, no hits. A man left at third. 1-0 San Diego.
On an error from Miami catcher Rob Brantley. Well, Miami's starter tonight, Wade LeBlanc, a former Padre, and this is the first time he's back pitching in San Diego since the trade that sent him to the Marlins following the 2011 season. LeBlanc faced his former team in Miami last year, tossing 2 2/3 scoreless frames in relief. And he mentions being thankful for the help he's received from guys like Trevor Hoffman, Jake Peavy, Matt Stairs, and Chris Young, how they really taught him how to play the game.
Jerko swinging, Laura, deep to center. How deep is it? It's gone! Number 3 for Jed Jerko. He touches them all, and the Padres take the lead 2-0.
I'll tell you what, Jed Jerko keeps swinging the bat like that. He's going to have a cement pond in his backyard before you can say, Jackie Robinson. High fastball. He gets on top of it. Wow. Power to left field. Power to center field. No doubt about that one. Wow. Pretty impressive.
His home run yesterday, Mark, measured at 426 feet in the upper deck in left field. Powers that one over the longest part in the yard. And here's Nick Hundley. Well, we interrupted. We don't have to apologize for that, do we, Laura? The home run?
Listen, I think every time we're doing a hit down here, something like that happens, and it's all right with us.
All right. Pop fly, shallow and right, and in comes the rookie Ozuna to squeeze it for the first out here in the second. Andrew Kastner's had 3 at-bats with a base hit.
Say, with each swing, it just seems getting better and better, and the confidence just skyrocketing for Jed Jerko. And as Bud Black said before the game, this guy's a competitor. Great baseball instincts, and that goes a long way. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not, you don't have that competitive drive. You don't have that instinct.
Well, he's been playing baseball from the day he learned how to walk. I mean, at 4, he was taking batting practice with his dad and older brothers.
He turned a 6'4" double play the day he was born in the delivery room.
Kastner swinging a miss, 0-2. Well, that was the other question. Can he switch from third base, where he's been playing in the minor leagues, and then go to second base? Well, he proved himself within 10 games in spring training. He's not just an average second baseman. He's a good second baseman. Kastner down on strikes. 2 away. Second strikeout for LeBlanc. And to the top of the order, Chris Denorfia. In the middle of spring training, in talking with Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell, the hitting coaches, said, now, looks like Jerko's going to make the club. And of course, they don't want to commit it at that time. And I said, if he makes a club, what do you think eventually? They said, he's a middle of the order hitter, meaning that he's got that kind of power he's showing now. Could hit 3, 4, or 5. But it's nice to have the luxury of a man who could swing the bat like that, hitting 7th. 1-0, and that's a strike. Chris Denorfia with a .331 average against left-handed pitching, 4th best in the last 3 years of all the National League hitters, with Buster Posey on top of that list.
That tells me one thing, that he knows his limitations and knows what to do with certain pitches against left-handed pitchers. If they're soft tossers, he'll take them center of the diamond and right center field. Good recognition on that breaking ball down and in, and he knows that if he hangs a breaking ball, yeah, he can spin on it and send it down the left field line. You see all over the map there from Wade LeBlanc.
Fouled at the plate, stays at 2-2. Well, the Padres have gone about as short and long as you possibly can to get their 2 runs. The pop fly landed about 10 feet in front of home plate, the air, and now a 413-foot home run by Jerko. Outside, the count full to Denorfia. And the pitch count already at 40 for Wade LeBlanc. Phil Plantier, hitting coach there, and Jerko swallowing a smile. Chopped to short. Echeverria throws him out. But the Padres add here in the bottom of the second inning a long, high, deep fly ball home run. Jed Jerko, 2-0.
Most impressive. You can use the hashtag on Twitter, and this is good timing right here. Alonso impress, Denorfia impress, Jerko impress, Headley impress, or Hundley impress. Remember, use the hashtag and then the name of the player and then impress. And there it is again. A, B, C, D, or E. Get back. We'll get back to you later in the game, actually.
Leading off is Adeni Echeverria, the shortstop. First 2 pitches misses. 190, but hit a couple of home runs this last week and one yesterday against Roy Halladay, along with a bases loaded triple to knock in 7. No Cuban born player in the National League has ever knocked in 7 runs in a game.
You know, speaking about Roy Halladay, talking to some of the Marlins people, they said they may have seen Roy Halladay throw his last pitches. I mean, his shoulder, I guess, is in bad shape. Not throwing the same. Shoulder's been bothering him for a while.
Game gets you, or time does sooner or later, huh? That ball hit well to right field, and Blanks can't get it. Echeverria flying around first to second, and he continues his hot hitting, extra base hitting. Solid double. That ball slicing away from Blanks. First Marlins hit tonight.
Good job going the other way. Fastball. Oh, he shortens up nicely. Doesn't try to pull it. Just out of the reach of Kyle Blanks. And he can scoot. Hey, turn it on. Doesn't pick up the third base coach, so he turns on the brakes himself. Yeah, third double this year for Echeverria. He's got some speed, huh?
He's got the glove. He's got the speed. He's got a fantastic arm. And although his average is not good so far, apparently he's learning that he can hit big league pitching. As of this last week, here's LeBlanc, a good hitting pitcher. And he bunts, and Cashner's play at first base as Echeverria moves to third. 1-4 on the put up.
That's the way you got to get it done as a pitcher. Sacrifices on, get it done quickly. That's exactly what LeBlanc did there. Perfectly placed on the infield.
Gives Juan Pierre a chance to knock in the run. And beware of Pierre, and they certainly are. Headley shortened up at third base. He's an excellent bunter. Year after year, he's right there at the top of the National League in bunt hits and infield hits. Again, the middle of the infield back.
Wow, 14 seasons already for Juan Pierre. My goodness. Hey, now, you know, almost a 300 hitter. You know, the legs can't pick him up and put him down quite as quickly as he used to, but he's had one heck of a career. Hard worker, great guy, and trying to help some of the youngsters, right, in Miami.
35 years of age now. 602 stolen bases in his great career. Left throw by Hundley, and the count goes to 3-0 on Pierre. If you walk Pierre, you almost are certain that he's going to wind up on second base.
Yep.
Oh, 4 pitches he walked. Second base on balls from Andrew Cashner, so 1 out, runners at the corners for the Marlins. Just see the body language of Buddy Black, how much the managers despise that awful base on balls. There they are, 602, most by any active player in the big leagues.
Wow, not even close in second place, huh? Ichiro, Carl Crawford, Reyes.
It's almost if and when.
Yeah.
And you'll be on second base.
So a pretty chance of fastballs away here. Maybe you get to a point in the count where you pitch out.
He struck out Valleca on a high fastball the first time up.
Well, Mark Sweeney is right down there close to the action. What do you think, Mark? Fastballs away, possibly a pitch out, depending on the situation here?
Well, knowing Juan Pierre, he's going to take his first opportunity. This is one of the hardest workers in the game. I played with him up in L.A. First guy to the field all the time, preparing himself, being in the cage, and then going to his work on the video as well.
Joe Espada, the third base coach for the Miami Marlins.
Barry Hill working over at first base. Big lead. There he goes. Didn't take long. Hundley's throw, and he slides in safely with his 12th stolen base this year.
You know, that looked like by design, Mark Sweeney, where Jed Jerko was in front of the bag at second base, just hoping, or just in case Echeverria had a chance to take a big lead or take off. He cut that one off even before it got to second base. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and you talk about it, Mark, too, that baseball awareness that Jed Jerko has, understanding he's not going to have an opportunity to get Juan Pierre, but baseball-wise, making the right play in case that guy from third advances.
Yeah, did you see how he went to the baseball rather than letting the ball travel to him?
I love it.
That's in for a strike. 1-1. Pretty good. Young player, 263. We've been in scoring position, and Marlins had the tying run carried by Pierre at second. Echeverria at third. 2-0 San Diego, top of the third inning at Petco. Tied him up with that fastball in on the hands.
Good two-seam action.
Sinking.
Yeah. It's like trying to hit a shot put. Trying to square up a bowling ball.
Veteran Placido Polanco on deck.
Fastball up here.
At the knee, strike three.
And then, you know, the funny thing is that's not where he wanted it. Nick Hundley gave the fastball and then the up, get it up in the zone. And then he went into the high crouch. And, hey, you know what? I'm just going to throw it on the inside corner. I'm just going to put him away. Why waste one? And he got him.
Tony Randazzo behind the plate punching him out. Second strikeout for Leica, and that's the 2 strikeouts for Cashner so far. Now the veteran Polanco. Lifetime .299 hitter. Our Saquon Casino Day-Cage stat of the game. National League leaders most plate appearances striking out this year. Once every 24 times up. Polanco fans, and that's far and away the toughest strikeout man in the league.
Boy, big secondary lead from Echeverria at third base. He's a good third way down the line when Andrew Cashner starts to go towards home plate.
Leadoff double by Echeverria and the sacrifice to third. Walk to Pierre, he steals second. Valleca strikes out, and now Polanco 1-1. Changeup just misses.
Looked like it didn't miss by much.
No. Right there, almost nicked the inside corner. Might have painted a little black. It counts if it barely touches.
Yep.
It's like tennis. It's in if it barely hits that line. Way outside. So 3 balls and a strike to Polanco with cleanup hitter Justin Ruggiano on deck.
Well, you might see something off speed here, off the plate. First base is open. Not the experience of Polanco and Ruggiano, who waits on deck. And like we said, Dick, just now, Polanco doesn't strike out a lot. He puts the ball in play a lot, right? Maybe he'll take his chances with Ruggiano.
And that will be the case with the bases loaded. The third walk from Cashner. And now the one man who has accounted for some home runs and RBIs comes to the plate. Ruggiano. And Darren Balsley's gone to the mound to chat with the battery of Cashner and Hundley.
You know, Mark and Dick wanted to talk about the breaking ball and the off-speed stuff of Andrew Cashner. To down here, it almost looks like at times he slows his arm down, probably trying to throw that strike. And wanted to ask Mark Grant what your thinking is as a pitcher when you are releasing that pitch and spinning those, especially those breaking balls.
Yeah, good question. I've always thought, and I've always taught, that from the wrist up, the grip changes. From the wrist down to the shoulder, the rest of the body, everything is fastball. The only difference is the grip. So from the wrist all the way down your body, legs, waist, chest, Everything else is fastball. It's just the grip mark that's different, and that's the difference in making that pitch move or look different to the hitter.
And the first pitch to Ruggiano, 96 mile an hour, fastball wide, ball 1.
So, Mark, to answer your question, the arm speed is key. Everything's got to be arm speed fastball. It's just the grip that's different.
6 home runs for Ruggiano already this year. Swing and a miss. Boy, that was right there.
And that was good arm action on the changeup from Andrew Kastner. Over the rubber nicely, power position, drive towards home plate, get up top and throw it just like your fastball. Had good movement as well.
Ozuna, the rookie on deck. 1-2. Comes back with another off speed, another changeup.
Another changeup, great movement, outer half of the plate. You see Ruggiano, that front shoulder getting exposed, opening up too early, losing all his power, if in fact he makes contact with that pitch.
High and inside, 2-2. So this becomes a big pitch. Kastner doesn't want to go full count. Bases are loaded, 2 out. And Ruggiano trying to pick out a pitch that he can drive. Strike him out. Kastner wins the battle. Gets him with a changeup. And the Marlins leave the bases loaded. Bottom of the 3rd, Padres 2-0. San Diego, Everett Cabrera leads it off here last of the 3rd. He walked, stole second, and scored on the pop fly error as Brantley, the catcher, unable to collect that high pop fly at home plate. The other run on Chechirko's home run to center field. Ball catches the inside corner. Headley next, and then Quentin. Off home plate, charged by the 3rd baseman Polanco, and he just does throw him out.
Well, Everett Cabrera hitting .297 going to this game from the right side. I know Mark Sweeney wants to break down that swing from the right side.
Yeah, guys, and last year, right side was a struggle for Everett Cabrera, but you can see him lining this ball. And let's take a look at his vision down on the barrel of the bat. And he is backing the ball up as much as he can to use the big part of the field, opposite field. And you can see the result of this drive to right center. Everett Cabrera is doing a much better job on the opposite side.
Chase Headley extends his hitting streak to 11 in a row as he singles to center. That'll bring up Carlos Quentin.
You know, guys, just finishing the thought with Everett Cabrera. What he's doing is trying to back the ball up as far as he can, seeing as much as he can. Had a lot of swings and misses last year and striking out a lot. We're seeing the walk spike and also the average is going up as well. He is a dual threat now from both sides of the plate.
And Mark, from the fan standpoint, watching it at home, explain what exactly it means to back a ball up?
Well, it's just getting it back in your stance. A lot of people, if you're trying to hit the ball out front, you're going to be either fouling the ball off or swinging and missing. But Everett Cabrera's game is to try to line the ball to all fields. He's doing a much better job using the big part of the field to the opposite field, right side.
Nice.
Well, one out. Headley single. 2-0 San Diego. 1-0 now to Carlos Quentin. Low strike.
You know, a lot of hitters, Mark Sweeney, you can chime in on this. On a pitcher's pitch like that, kind of low, will you ask the umpire, hey, is that as low as you're going to go now for a strike?
Yeah. And they look at you and they'll say, I can go anywhere I would like.
Good answer.
Game 2 tomorrow night, 6:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego. It'll be Eric Stoltz, the veteran left-hander for the Padres, against Alex Sanabria. He's from Castle Park High School in Chula Vista. He's thrilled to get a chance to pitch here at Petco Park. That's tomorrow night. Sanabria is 2-4. Stoltz 2-2. Good seats available. Call tonight. Make your plans. Earlier the better. The price indeed is better. The earlier you make contact with our ticket office. Ground ball bobbled by the third baseman, and there's no play. Polanco unable to come up with it. He had double play on his mind. It was a tough chance. He had to reach deep into the hole, but had he fielded it cleanly, might have been able to turn too, because Quentin with that sore knee doesn't run that well.
Well, Polanco doesn't have the range he once had, but when you look at this, if he can get to it, he usually gloves it. I think that's a play that's got to be made. I'm guessing that's E5.
It is.
And the Padres get a break here.
Good hustle by Quentin. So there wasn't a chance for Polanco to grab that ball and fire back across to first.
Well, those are the times, guys, that Carlos Quentin's probably looking up to the score and saying, when am I going to catch a break? When you're going through struggles like that, it almost feels like everything's either going to be an error or an out.
He's safe on 2 errors tonight. A pop fly at home plate that led to a run. And now the error by the third baseman. So 2 on, 1 away for Kyle Blanks. Walked his first time up. 50th pitch now for LeBlanc. Way out in front of the changeup.
I always loved throwing big burly hitters changeups. You know, they're feasting on the fastball. You can see the sawdust coming down from the grip of that wooden bat. Little change piece, screw them right into the ground. Beautiful thing.
In the dirt with another changeup.
And we as hitters like when you hung the changeup.
Well, I'd like to see that here, quite frankly. I'd like to see Kyle Blanks lay into one.
I would too.
3-run shot would be some kind of net.
Headley at second, Quentin at first. 1 out.
Hey, good recognition on Mark Sweeney. A couple off-speed pitches down and away.
Yeah, and that's the good part of it. When you see a lot of them, and Wade LeBlanc falls in love with that changeup at times, and that can hurt him.
Pop that up off first and might make it to the seats, and does, away from Dobbs, the first baseman. I'm just checking on the glove of Wade LeBlanc. He has one of the leather straps hanging about 4 or 6 inches off the glove. Now, as a hitter, see, isn't that a little distraction there? And shouldn't that thing be tied a little more tightly?
Well, they can ask him to cut it. You know, if that's one of the things that it bothers hitters, they can go to the umpire and ask him to cut that.
2-2 to Blanks. No play at second.
Yeah, that is distracting, isn't it?
Well, now that you notice it.
Yeah.
Barely fouled that one off the catcher, Brantley. Chad Churko itching to get up there again. He's a hitter away, 2 hitters away. And Alonso is in the on-deck circle. One out, single and an error here in the third.
I just pulled a Bud Collins there, Dick. Did you hear me? Good pitch for Blanks to rip at, and he fouled it. Oh. How did Bud Collins do it? Just like that? Oh. I remember watching you guys.
He's such a dear man. I know some people.
He was passionate about tennis.
Oh, about everything.
Yeah.
He's just a beautiful man. 2-2, and so generous. I mean, here he was the first one to go to Wimbledon way back in the 1960s, first American writer, and anyone who came there, writer, broadcaster, he'd always take you around, teach you the ropes. Here's what you do here. Here's how you get your credential. Here's how you go to the interview room. Ground ball, foul, line drive.
Hey, heads up, Glenn Hoffman down there.
Bud's been battling some problems with his wheels. He's having some leg problems, but he was over at Indian Wells for the tournament. Rod Laver we saw yesterday, mentioning we saw Bud. 2-2, 2-1, 1 out. And another foul. Blank stays alive. When you think about it, one man in one sport as a communicator, whether it's a writer or broadcaster, in boxing, there's only one, Don Dunphy. For 5 decades, 50 years, he called the big boxing events. And in tennis, it's Bud Collins.
Yep.
For over 5 decades. Writer and broadcaster. 2-2. He's out of there. That pitch is too good to take. 3 strikeouts for LeBlanc. He wins that battle. And that brings up Yonder Alonso. Alonso grounded out to second base his first time. He had a couple of men on in the first inning when he rolled to second. Another opportunity to add to that RBI count.
Well, Mark, I know hitters aren't supposed to guess. You could probably, fall into a pattern looking at the way a pitcher's throwing, but looked like Kyle Blanks had off speed in his mind after that pitch.
Yeah, he's looking for local, got there express, and that's a difficult time,
Yeah.
especially those changeup, and it does. It lulls you into sleep thinking that you're going to see that, and that's what makes that fastball look a lot harder.
Popped up softly. Easy chance at second base for Valleca. And the inning is over. Padres got no runs on a hit and error and lead 2. It's a 2-0 game.
Celebrating 11 years. So join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. It's awesome. I got it on my phone. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Dick?
Anything better than that? Everywhere?
It's great. You know, like when we fly into a city and we're on the bus or something, you want to catch the out-of-town scores, see some video, see some highlights. Oh, life's good. Front row seats.
Wait a minute. Daddy's not supposed to eat the kids' cotton candy. You got to take a point off for that. First pitch strike to the youngster Marcell Ozuna. Just 22 years young. Grounded to short his first time. You see, he's got a body built for power. Rips that one at Headley. Reaches into the hole and throws him out.
Well, so far tonight for Ozuna, Cashier's making him look like Marcel Marceau. Silent in the batter's box. The old 5-3 play.
That was hit pretty hard, though, now. Another 5 feet to the left of Headley. He's got a base hit.
You know what that is, though? It's a hang with him.
It is. And then what do you do with this hang with him? I was thinking about that the other night. You know,
what do I?
When you say, "Hey, Dick, hang with him," I don't, you know, hang with who? I mean, where do I go?
Oh, you want to find out who the is?
Yeah. Here's Greg Dobbs. He takes a strike. Off speed. Curveball. Dobbs soft liner to shortstop his first time. There's a hang in there and then a hang with him. Are they the same?
This is the best way I can describe that. When you hang with them, I guess it's just like, you know, everybody's in the same boat. Just because you play hard and you hit the ball hard or you pitch well doesn't guarantee you anything.
It's kind of a with baseball, hang with
That's
the
right,
game.
Right, yeah.
Hang in there is more sympathetic. Huh?
Yes. I have to agree with you there, yes. Well put.
Talk about minutia. Back to the mound, and Cashner's 6'6" frame takes that one out of center field. 2 away.
Now, even though Andrew Cashner throws the ball 95, 96, he's in a pretty good fielding position, and he's showing off that athletic ability. You mentioned it, Dick, with his frame, he times it perfectly. A nice underhand toss for the second out.
Could have dunked that one if there had been a basket in front of him. Here's Rob Brantley flying to center field his first at bat. Pulled foul. Padres leading 2-0. Unearned run in the first. And a home run. Second in 2 days for Jed Jerko, who's going to lead off the bottom half of the fourth inning. Jerko's first 2 homers at Petco yesterday and tonight. Curveball. 1-1. 60 pitch coming up.
Yeah, you know, the ball strike ratio for Cashner isn't the greatest, but you look at the scoreboard, that's all that matters. He's given up 1 hit, leads 2-0. 29 balls, 30 strikes.
3 walks, accounting for the differential.
Now it's even, 30 and 30. And to my math, that's 50% strikes.
Show off. 2-1. And he misses 3-1. Well, he got through the first inning on just 8 pitches in order. It's had runners at third base and second, and third base is loaded. In fact, the last inning. Sharply hit. Headley off the line. Perfect spot. 1-2-3, the Marlins story. eye on Jerko. Let's go to Mark Sweeney.
Well, we're seeing a maturation process in front of our eyes, and it all started yesterday with the hanging changeup. And watch the elevated changeup and what Jed Jerko does. And it's elevated tonight, fastball, and he's elevating that over the fence. Both balls were well struck, but you're seeing that he can advance that, especially up in the strike zone. That's going to go on his scouting report, guys, but he's showing some good signs with the bat.
So Jerko with a home run his first time up. Leads off the fourth with Hundley and Kastner to follow against Wade LeBlanc. And Jerko quickly earning respect of opposing hitters, this 24-year-old rookie. Swinging bunt, tough play for Polanco, and he makes it. One away. Nick Hundley flying to right his first time. Got in the audience tonight, Ron and Alexis Fowler. She's a big baseball fan. I mean, she'll talk the game with you. And, very nice to see a couple like that. They're still in touch with one another. Which reminds me, tomorrow I won't be here celebrating my and Barbara's anniversary.
Congratulations, Professor, to you and Barbara.
Yeah, number 30.
Yeah, good for you. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks to Mike for taking over so I can have a night off with my lady fair. First pitch strike to Hundley. Well, the Padres need a win tonight to finally get back even at home. 8-8 on the season.
That's such a huge thing as well. They've battled. You mentioned it earlier. Padres have won 8 of the last 11.
Recovering from that 2-10 start.
Yeah.
Bounces that one in, 2-1. So Hundley knows LeBlanc better than anyone in the ballpark because he caught him for a couple of years here.
You know, so as a catcher now hitting against him, what do? Do you go reverse psychology? You know, I like to go reverse psychology.
I know you do.
Oh, do you?
That really works, doesn't it?
You know, does Nick think, okay, in this situation he's going to throw this, so he's going to try to trick me and throw the other pitch? Or I'm guessing Mark Sweeney, it's just a matter of, you know, try to see ball, hit ball, let the count kind of dictate.
Yeah, and Nick's done a good job going the opposite way, too, with these pitches.
Fouls that out of play.
We got a cut fastball there at 82, 3-1, fastball count.
You know, the hard part, Mark, with this, and you see Wade Blanc, it's below average fastball velocity, but you have to supply the power as a hitter. That's sometimes difficult. You almost overswing to try to produce that power.
You know, that's why I think that's a good point. From the pitcher's standpoint, if you're not going to blow the ball by hitters, you better make it move one way or the other. So I think that's where the cutter comes into play, especially lefty on righty. There's another one.
Ball 4. Well, it's time now for Wendy's now. That's better. Let's look at the Padres this season. First 20 games, 5-15. Then 8-3 the last 11. Home runs picking up the last 11. Slugging percentage and runs per game, 1.4 more runs per game the last 11. Now that's better. Brought to you by Wendy's.
I like that.
Second walk from LeBlanc brings up Kastner. The bunt is a good one. 3-4 on the putout. Hundley into second base.
Textbook. Nicely done, Andrew. And he'll get the fist bumps and the high fives from the guys on the bench. This is how you do it. Just make sure those digits don't get in the way. Don't wrap that hand around the bat. Kind of pinch the backside of it. And just deaden that baseball to the right side. Nicely done by Andrew.
Top of the order, Chris Denorfia with a chance to add on. Padres in front 2-0. Denorfia is flying to center and grounded to short. Runners in scoring position, 6 for 16. 7 runs driven in. Curveball in for a strike.
I love that shot right there. It's about time Michael Adino does something.
Our director, Michael Modena, did that?
I had to. I love that man. Our director down in the truck does a great job. And you know what? Part of the great thing about our job is that we can, bust each other's chops. And
he'll get yours. 2 strikes outside to
I can't wait until he busts your chops.
No, that was a beautiful shot, though. That's when you don't see it too often. You had the big screen TV out there set, and then you had the center field view. Very nice.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, you get
I
better
love
looking.
that shot.
Doesn't he get better looking by the game? Huh?
Easy.
Huh? Yeah. Nice
he thanks. In fact, this is when you got me in Milwaukee last year.
That's what I said. Nice time.
Thanks.
2-2. That's slicing down into the corner, but it'll curl foul. Didn't have home run depth.
I don't think people realize the hard work that goes into the production and the direction of a show each and every night. I mean, they're working hard.
Oh, we get here early, 3 o'clock or so. 2:30. They're already here about noon, getting ready for each telecast, and on the road as well.
And you're working hard mending fences.
You better walk together, you 2 marks, shoulder to shoulder, leaving the yard tonight.
Hey, there's Mark Leeson up top the Western Metal Supply Company building, perched up there. That's his office tonight.
Inside to Denorfia, and the count is full on Padres leadoff man. Probably ready to roll from second.
First base open. You might see something soft here. Change up away.
Line drive off the glove of Valleca, and here comes Hundley. Throw from right field. Not in time. Hundley just does get his hand on home plate. 3-0. Did we tell you? Marcell Ozuna's got a rifle in right. What a throw. With 2 outs and Hundley getting a running start. He almost nailed him at the plate.
Well, we talk about hitters just missing one, getting under it a little bit too much to send it out of the ballpark. Well, that one off Valleca's glove. And then, how close is this? Yes! Hundley gets his hand under there. Home plate umpire Tony Randazzo is all over it. Great call. He's got the eagle eye. He's getting the green light from Glenn Hoffman. The race is on. Nicely done. Hey, credit Tony Randazzo, the home plate umpire. He was right there, perfectly positioned. And you're right, Dick. Ozuna's got a good arm.
A lot of things were right about that. Ozuna's defense and throw, the slide by Hundley, and the umpire getting the call right.
And another 2-out run.
Cabrera then to right field, and with Denorfia at second, here comes a throw again from right field. He's in there, and Cabrera moves to second. It's 4-0. Cabrera knocks in his 8th run of the year. And that brings up Headley as Cabrera goes to second on the throw, and another terrific throw from right field. Denorfia hooking in under the tag.
Sliding towards the foul part of home plate. Chase Headley was helping him out as well, directing traffic. Nicely done. Padres adding on here in the 4th.
You know, guys, credit Dave Roberts, the first base coach, as well, communicating to the runners, doing a nice job trying to advance, because that's a close play at the plate. You still have to keep running and advance because there's 2 outs in that situation. Great job.
You're reading that cutoff or not. I mean, if they cut it off, then they might have been able to throw out Denorfia and Cabrera at second base, but the throw was so good they had to let it come through. And Roberts there to get the runners to move up the extra 90, and that's already paid off. Denorfia able to score after taking second on the throw as Hundley scored, and now Cabrera takes the extra base on the throw to home plate as Denorfia checks in.
Dick, you were talking about money hits, right?
And now Headley, a high fly ball to left center, but it's hanging out there for Rusciano for the final out. But the Padres do add on a walk and a couple of RBI singles. And after 4 here at Petco, it's the Padres 4, the Marlins 0. Lead 4-0 as Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Sequan Casino. Real friendly, real close. By Farmers Insurance, contact your local agent at 888-96 Farmers. And by the Arumco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. Yeah, the Gas Lamp District, and the Padres are the Gas Lamp Gang, leading 4-0. First pitch comes in for a strike to Danny Echeverria. Doubled over the reach of Kyle Blanks into the right field corner his first time up. This one pounds on 2 hops to Jerko for 1 away.
You know, I look at last half inning, guys. You know, the hits to the opposite field are great. As you take a look at Tom Kohler heating up for the Fish, is the slides at home plate. Very athletic, nice slides, getting direction from the next guy on deck. Nick Hundley with the hand swipe, and it just, you know.
It's a beautiful part of the game. That play is
and
really an exciting part and a poetic part of baseball.
And sometimes it goes unnoticed because, you know, you just don't slide into a base, or you just don't slide into home plate. There's a technique and there's a way of getting around that tag
without bowling over the catcher.
Right.
You know, too, to add that to the guys, I mean, it's an athletic preference as well, too. Some guys don't like to do the hook slide. You know, and you could see Chris Denorfia like that, but there's other ways to do it. You can slide straight in, but angle towards that back corner of the home plate.
So here's Hundley. He's sliding away as if the base were 5 feet to the right and then using his left hand, so he gave the catcher so little to tag.
What a great slide.
That's a strike to LeBlanc, and now Denorfia, he uses the fade and the left foot with the rest of the body away from the tag. Not as close as Hundley's play.
Mark Sweeney, great call on the old-fashioned. We're going back to the 40s and 50s hook slide.
You got to love the hook slide.
Cabrera deep at short to throw out LeBlanc for the second out.
Remember we talked about 2-out runs earlier, guys, before the game? Tonight, 3 more. Tack them on with 2 outs.
Money runs, money hits in that 4th inning from Denorfia and Cabrera.
In fact, 24 of the last 29 runs have come with 2 outs.
That's really a positive statistic for this team. It tells you more than just scoring a run.
Thanks to our angry statistician, Mike Trussell, for coming up. It's about time he did something around here, too.
Well, you might as well alienate everybody. You're on a streak. Top of the order, Juan Pierre has fly to left. Walked and stole his 12th base of the year to lead the National League. Line drive, that's a base hit to right center. Over to cut it off is Denorfia. Pierre's on his way to second, wants a double. There might be a play here, and he's in with a head first slide. Let's go down to Laura McKeeman. Laura, what do you have for us?
Well, yeah, guys, I talked to Alonzo Powell before the game just about the 2-out situation and how much success the Padres have had with 2 outs. And he said, look, here's the thing. There is a little bit of a different approach when you're going up to the plate with 2 outs because you have to get a hit. You don't have the luxury of a ground ball or a fly ball out. And he said he wants increased concentration from his hitters in that particular moment. He's seen a lot of success with that, and that's something that he and Phil Plantier are stressing.
Well, it's paying off. Thank you, Laura. Chris Valleca. Up twice, struck out twice. Cameron Maben in the dugout tonight. There's Phil Plantier.
Well, if anybody would know about that, what Laura was just talking about, Mark Sweeney, you know, being one of the best pinch hitters in all the game. I mean, Mark, was there a certain approach that you took?
Yeah, I mean, I always hit off the fastball, but the concentration level that Laura's talking about is essential, especially in those tougher situations.
You almost have to come up, fly ball to right as a pinch hitter, and think there are 2 outs, regardless. Well, he pitches around a 2-out double, does Kastner, worth a halfway mark in this one. On this date, May 6, 2005, 6-5 win over the Cardinals. Trevor Hoffman becomes the third closer in Major League history to save 400 games. Padres reliever joining Lee Smith, 478, and John Franco, 424, as the other bullpen artists who had reached the milestone of 400 saves. Number 51, Trevor Hoffman.
And Mark Sweeney was there to witness it in uniform as a Padre, weren't you, Mark?
Yeah, I was actually on first base at that time, so every time Trevor Hoffman's in there, it's easier to play a position because you know he's going to punch him out with a changeup.
It's Carlos Quentin, Kyle Blanks, and Yonder Alonso in the Padre fifth. Excuse me, swing, and an easy out at first as Quentin's slump continues, 0 for 17.
Oh, look at Sweeney with the salad.
Yeah, Chia Pet. It did. All the stress that I had in my career led me to this point. But yeah,
look at that smile.
Hey, I tell you what, man, just going.
Look at that smile.
Going and being a part of that. Anything that Trevor did, and he always deflected the attention to everybody else. But what a special player and a great teammate.
Class guy, all the way around.
Kyle Blanks, the hitter, sharply hit, but Kaleka covers and throws him out. 2 away. 2 quick outs for Wade LeBlanc here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Yonder Alonso steps up. Alonso's had some chances to knock in runs tonight, but with 2 men on in the first, grounded to second, and with 2 on in the third, popped to second. If you're just joining us, the Padres got an unearned run in the first without a hit, a walk, a stolen base, and an error by the catcher. Scored Everett Cabrera. Third home run of the year for Jed Jerko. Made it 2-0 in the second, and then the Padres got 2 more in the last inning on RBI singles to Norfia and Cabrera. 1-1. Jerko would be next. Way inside, 2-1. Well, Wade LeBlanc 0 for 4 coming in with an ERA over 6. And trailing 4-0 tonight. Things have not gotten any better as yet for LeBlanc. Over but low.
Good job laying off that low breaking ball. Wade LeBlanc had before this game only received 9 runs of support when he's out on the mound.
And none tonight.
Yep, this being his 7th start.
Broken bat shattered, and another play to the second baseman. All 3 at bats. Alonso hits it right to the second baseman. A walk, a stolen base, and then this pop fly drop by the catcher Brantley for one. No doubt about Jerko's home run is second in 2 games, 2-0. And then RBI singles. DeNorfia brought home Huntley on a close play at the plate to make it 3-0. And then Cabrera followed in the 4th inning with a single to right field. And it was DeNorfia sliding safely at home, 4-0. And meanwhile, Andrew Kastner through 5 innings has allowed only 2 hits, both doubles, given up 3 walks as he goes into the 6th inning. This is the longest that Kastner has gone this season. Couple of errors on the board for the Marlins. Placido Polanco has lined to center and walked.
Hey, Andrew Kastner has faced some adversity in that 2nd inning. Could have been 1 run, but he was left stranded at third base. And of course, in that 3rd inning with the 2 walks and the double,
left the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Since then, he's given up only a double to Pierre in the last inning with 2 out, no damage. 1-1 to Polanco. A professional major league hitter is Polanco, and he hits this one toward right center. Blanco. Kyle Blanks takes care of Polanco.
Change up. Trying to drive it the other way and just dies out there in right center field.
So you hear how I derived a new word there from Polanco to Blanks and Blanc. You know, it's kind of combine the two
together.
So I didn't have to make it a messy call. You just use one word.
You don't have to say as much, right?
It's I didn't realize the genius in that mistake. Justin Rusciano has walked and struck out.
So if Kastner strikes out Rusciano, it's Casciano.
Casciano,
right?
Yes.
Strikes him out.
Double order. Make that with a little bit.
Marinara sauce.
Yeah, marinara. Good.
Alfredo.
Pretty good. Garlic bread on the side. 1-1, Rusciano. In there. Still has the heater, 94 miles an hour. Wouldn't chase. I was pleased in the summary, the commentary after the game from the clubhouse, that Edinson Volquez commenting about the fact that he realizes now he didn't have to strike out everybody. He had 3 strikeouts, pitched a terrific game, 1 run and 4 hits to beat the D-backs yesterday. And Kastner is a strikeout pitcher, but he only has 3, and he's getting the job done.
It makes pitching fun too. Everybody loves to strike out.
Well, he gets one there, and the foul tip caught by Hundley for his 4th of the game.
Well, as you mentioned, Dick, for Andrew Kastner, that is the 4th strikeout tonight for the right-hander. And yeah, he's going to find out that he doesn't have to punch everybody out. It's nice when you get to 2 strikes, then you can go for the kill. But if you can get first pitch, second pitch, have your infielders work for you, even make the old 1-3 pitch yourself or the putout, hey, you're going to find yourself into the 7th, maybe into the 8th inning.
And he did go 6 innings against San Francisco in a 2-1 win here at Petco. So trying to get to the 7th for the first time. He's thrown just 82 pitches as Marcell Ozuna steps in. He's grounded to short and grounded to third. Starting his career, first 6 games with a hitting streak. Not just a hit per game either. In the first 6 games, 11 for 23.
And the Marlins records, look who's on that list. Now a Padre. All the way back in 1997, our own Mark Kotsay had a 5-game streak to start his career.
Another century. 1 ball and 1 strike. Taken for a ball, 2-1.
Love the baseball chatter on the bench. John Baker, Cameron Maben, Dave Roberts.
Back to the mound, and Kastner again. He's ready for that comebacker. A 1-2-3 inning for Kastner. Well done through 6. He's shut out the Marlins 4-0.
thing, and we've got the results for tonight's AT Twitter poll question. The question was, which Padres player's recent play has been the most impressive? Number 9 comes in at 57%. Hashtag Jerko Impress. And the rest of the field, yeah, they played well. Denorfia, Alonso, Headley, and Hundley. And Laura McKeeman, what do you think? Who have you been impressed with?
Well, it's hard not to go with the rookie, of course, after he just hit his 3rd home run tonight in the major leagues. But I'm actually going to go with Nick Hundley. After a year like he had last year, to bounce back the way he has, really take the coaching of Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell to work on what he had to work on at the plate, build that confidence, get healthy. I think that's where it's at. What do you guys think?
Dick, what do you think?
Well, I think that's a good point that she makes about Hundley. We quick to forget the less exciting times, and Hundley had a terrible time last year, and for him to come back, and he's been right around 300 almost all season long. Yeah, that's impressive. Well, line drive right to the 3rd baseman, but Jerko continues to pound it solidly.
And once again, see where that pitch was? Elevated, high pitch.
Reading Tom Kohler.
Some serious top spin. We talked about the home runs. Look at this pitch. Up and in, top hand, top spin. And you know, my mind works in weird ways. I think you'd agree with that, right, Dick?
Occasionally.
Jed Jerko, second baseman. Where's number 9? Bill Mazeroski.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making any comparisons right yet. I'm just, you know, the position, the number. And he's from the East Coast, right? Wasn't Mazeroski?
No, it's not far from Pittsburgh. West Virginia, Morgantown. You can get to Pittsburgh in about an hour and a half. Nick Hundley has flied to right and walked. Well, to answer your question, I think Denorfia was on that list, wasn't he, at the 5? Yeah, I just am impressed with the blue collar play of Denorfia since he arrived. That's a long shot, but hooking foul. Oh, he got it all. Way up into the second deck, but out in front.
Wow, that was crushed.
He could taste a quadrangular.
Where was the pitch from Kohler? Up and in. He missed again. Jerko hit the ball well. Hundley turns on this one. Just a little bit too quick.
Pops that back toward us.
Gotta love the hacks that the Padre hitters are taking this evening. When that youngster's happy, that's what it's all about.
Two and two to Hundley, and it's high ball 3 from Tom Kohler, born in the Bronx, New York, went to high school in New Rochelle, on to college at Stony Brook. Ground ball right at Polanco. He fires across to Dobbs, 2 away.
Hey, want the inside scoop on Padres? Well, then catch Padres POV. Join Megan O'Leary as she highlights the ins and outs of the Padres from their point of view. Padres POV, Friday at 3:30 on Fox Sports San Diego. Presented by Sequan Casino.
Hubba hubba. Well, Cashner's going to stay in for the 7th inning. He's hitting. He sacrificed and struck out tonight. Takes that one all the way, backing out of the batter's box, 1-1.
Hey, Kohler's got a power arm, 91 to 96 on the fastball, curveball, slider, and a change.
Whoa! Almost walked into that fastball. Wasn't close. But
I just hope he didn't hurt himself on the way down.
Comes up limping and caught his spikes and
It looked like his right ankle, Dick, maybe when he kind of spun. Looked like he kind of twisted that right ankle, the back ankle.
He's still a little gimpy as he gets back in the batter's box. And they're going to come out, Paul Navarro, the assistant trainer, and Bud Black, to make sure that Cashner is okay. Don't want him to, if there is a mild injury, stay in and aggravate it into something serious.
I'd like to concentrate right here on the back ankle, the right ankle. He strides, Tries to get out of the way. See how he kind of catches it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
It possibly could be there. You know, when you do twist this will give us a good look too, the back right foot. You know, when you do twist it like that, you can see that would affect the knee as well.
Now, Cashner's not going to give up an at bat.
No.
He wants to stay in and swing. 2-1. Well, I guess he isn't going to swing. He's backed out of the batter's box on almost every delivery as if there's no intent to swing. Now he does. Strike 3. Inning over. Kohler retires the side. 1, 2, 3. And we're on to the 7th inning at Petco. 4-0. Home side.
Sweeney and I working on your post-game show for you. Got to talk about Andrew Cashner right now spinning a 2-hit gem.
Yeah, and aggressive tonight, and especially with that fastball. And you can see he's getting out for that fastball because he's getting ahead. Strike 1 was very important tonight, but also putting him away with his #1 pitch, and that's movement with that fastball as well. That's what Buddy Black wanted to see.
So we'll have more on Andrew in the post-game show. Also, Jed Jerko again with a power drive. We'll have that. We're also going to highlight the art of the slide. You're going to hear from Buddy Black. And your post-game interviews, Everett Cabrera and Nick Hundley. Guys, we'll see you after the final out.
All right, you've got a full plate. Mike and Mike, Mike and Mark, M&M. It's sweet.
They do a great job.
Absolutely.
Just like our director, Michael Odino.
Oh, don't try to
Awesome.
kiss up now. It's too late. Cashner goes to work in the 7th for the first time this season as a starter. Greg Dobbs, the leadoff hitter for the Marlins, has lined as short, a soft liner, and bounced to the mound. He gets a changeup to start. So it'll be Dobbs, Brantley, and Echeverria. You're the greatest. Back to the mound. Look at that Cashner field his position. You know, sometimes the athletes are pitchers.
They're the best, and he has shown it tonight. Andrew Cashner is taking charge. What's that, his third put out?
Third this evening, and a couple have been tough. He's climbed a ladder to get one, and he had to reach far to his left to get that one.
He's got all the quadrants covered. Up, down, in, and out. Goes to his left here.
Almost as if he knew it was coming right to his glove. One out to Rob Brantley, fly to center, and a hard ground ball out to third. That ball is not going to be called. Right center field. Over to cut it off is Denorfia. Brantley turns and will hold as a great throw from Denorfia. He'd have been a goner. Only the third hit off Cashner.
Well, first pitch, changeup. You can see the circle change grip out of the hand of Andrew Casher. He just elevated. If that ball is down a little bit, the more the ball is down, the more the pitch is down in the zone, the more action it's going to have. Possibly get a grounder on the right side there. It's elevated, and he spanks it to center field.
Cardenio Echeverria. He's doubled to right and grounded to second. And this is a name to remember. Adeiny, Adeiny, and then Hechavarria. You need to have broad shoulders to get that on your uniform. And while he's just starting to hit this year, looks like he's going to have surprising power for a shortstop and a real gem in the field. We've yet to see him go deep in the hole in that arm of his that they're all raving about. Back to the mound. Cashner to short for one. Cabrera double play. 1-6-3. A double play. And we go to the bottom of the seventh. The Padres still in front 4-0. Cashner with 4 assists in the game. Subway in-game box score. Denorfia Cabrera with RBI singles. Headley extending his hitting streak to 11. The big blow, Jerko's third home run, 2 in 2 games. As the Padres, behind Andrew Cashner's pitching and fielding, have shut out the Miami Marlins 4-0. Denorfia from the top of the order here in the 7th inning against Tom Kohler, who retired the side in order in the 6th. Nino 1 for 3. A fly ball to center and a grounder to short as well. One and one. Padres with only 4 hits and only 2 for the visitors from Miami. They come here after winning 2 against Philadelphia. High fly. He just missed that. Circling in under it is Ruggiano in center.
All right, get the mullets out. Get the straight leg Levi's, Docksiders, button down collars. Get ready for Padres 80s night. Friday, May 17th. Your Padres are going to wear their brown and orange uniforms when they take on the Washington Nationals. First pitch is at 7:10. Enjoy a great 80s concert before the game at the Park of the Park. Get your tickets tonight, Padres.com, or get on the horn, 619-795-5555.
Hey,
gag me
night
with a spoon.
Yeah, Friday nights are always terrific.
Oh my God, it's gonna be like so rad.
Cabrera takes outside, ball 1. Were you a fashion plate? Were you rad in your day?
Yeah. course you. I don't know if it was good, but I made an effort.
Doesn't matter in those days. You do the tie-dye and all that, or is that?
Didn't do the tie-dye. I went straight polo, Levi's, boat shoes, Madras shorts, the whole 80s thing.
Okay, whatever. 3-0.
With the mullet, the business up front, party in the back. Oh, look at that. It's a great salad right there. Yeah, how you doing, Captain?
Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Cabrera. He's walked for the second time tonight. That runs his total to 16. It's a lot of walks and part of the success
like to welcome,
of Cabrera.
welcome Bono and Russell Brand in the house.
Kind of like Tinker to Evers to Chance.
Yeah, there you go. It's a great double play.
Chase Headley struck out single and fly to center. His hitting streak now at 11 straight. Cabrera goes. The throw, not in time. He's under the tag. So Cabrera with his 9th and 10th steals tonight. Right on the heels of the National League leader, Juan Pierre, the left fielder of the Marlins, who has his 12th this evening.
And I love him being aggressive. Shortened up the lead just a tad. Running on Brantley. Shortstop side of the bag, just a little bit on that throw. In scoring position. Time to add on.
One ball and one strike to Headley. Chance to pick up an insurance run here. 4-0, bottom of the 7th. Slaps that one down the left field line, slicing into the corner. Fair ball inside the line, and caroming to the left fielder Pierre, and Cabrera can walk in. It's 5-0. Headley delivers his 10th RBI of the season. Going the other way.
Oh, you got that right, Professor. Watch this pitch. He misses with location. That was a backdoor breaking ball that he wanted down and in. And Chase Headley just carves that, keeps it fair. And it's so nice to see the Padres adding on here in the 7th.
Chance for more as Headley at second base with one out for Carlos Quentin. Quentin saved twice on errors by the catcher and the third baseman, and grounded to first on a check swing the last time. And he's struggling at the moment. 0 for the last 17. Cleveland has beaten Oakland 7-3. Up the middle and caught by the pitcher. Now they've got Headley in a rundown. And Headley is going to dive into second base, and they just do get him. He almost eluded the rundown. They let him get too close to second. Quentin safe on the fielder's choice.
You know what? As you look at this play, if Chase would have committed there, he probably would have been safe.
That was close. Finally, the tag by Polanco.
Yeah. Now, I'm just glad. Did you see his left hand? His left hand. He dove in with his right hand, and it looked like his left hand he kept free of the bag, so he couldn't do anything with that left hand.
So Headley out, safe in the fielder's choice. Quentin and Amarista will run for Quentin at first base with 2 out. And Kyle Blank's the batter. 5-0 San Diego. 1 out walk pays off as Cabrera turns that walk with a steal into a double. Padres bullpen relatively quiet and lots of activity in the dugout. Cabrera, he's been smiling since we saw him before the game. He was over at Cashner's locker there, and Cashner, the big hunter, he got his duck call.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Cashner was showing how to call the ducks, and he was trilling it and quack quack, and then and Cabrera tried, and A big moose came into the locker room, attracted by his his approach. But they were having a great time.
Yeah, they had those duck collars all over the clubhouse today.
Cabrera's got to take some lessons. Not a lot of duck hunting down there in Nicaragua.
All right, here's a situation. 2-0 count, 2 outs. We've talked about the 2-out runs for the Padres lately. There's a fastball count. Let's see if Kyle Blanks gets one. Put a hurting on it.
Broken bat, shattered. Bat and ball arrive at the same time, and Echeverria able to maintain his contact with the ball and be able to elude the bat. Thank goodness. That's all the way out in shallow left field. Inning over. 1 run in. Brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a quote. Get 2 free Padre tickets at mercuryinsurance.com/Padres. Our famed convention center here in San Diego, almost adjacent, across the street, in fact, from Petco Park, as Alexi Amarista stays in the game in center field, with Denorfia moving to right and Blanks over to left. Chris Coughlin leads off and lines it over the head of Cabrera into left field. A leadoff single for the Marlins, their 4th hit of the game. Trying to big this shutout bid of Andrew Cashner. That'll bring up leadoff man Juan Pierre.
Good old number 55, Dale Thayer heating up in the Padre bullpen, and Luke Gregerson getting the wings loose as well. Over there on the bench as Buddy Black kind of maneuvering that scorecard there, making all the changes.
He has a chance to be more patient with Cashner with an added run in the 7th to make it 5-0.
Yeah, it's nice to have some breathing room, huh? And Andrew Cashner into the 8th inning.
Not a bad pitch, 1-1. Coughlin, who delivered that pinch single on the first pitch that he saw, was the Rookie of the Year in the National League in 2009, and he's just disappeared. Ooh, weak wave by Juan Pierre. He was guessing something else.
You know, we often talk about keeping the ball down right in the zone. I've got no problem pitching Juan Pierre up in the zone. Give him the fly ball. I mean, the chance of him hitting a home run, slim to none. And I think Slim just left town.
Fouls that one away as he brought the heater in at 95 in on the hands. Approaching the 100 pitch mark, however. The complete game has become such a rarity that every pitcher has a design to put one of those in his scorebook. Tough to do. Fly ball to center. There you go. And Marista with the play. One away.
Hey, come watch your Padres battle the Washington Nationals Saturday, May 18th at 5:40. The first 25,000 fans, you're going to receive a cool new Padres t-shirt presented by Cymer. Don't wait. Buy your tickets early. Save at Padres.com. Get on the horn. 619-795-5555.
97 pitch mark, and Bud Black is going to make a double switch. Andrew Kastner giving him 7 1/3 solid inning shutout ball. Well done by Andrew Kastner. Following Edinson Volquez going 6 2/3 yesterday in the Padres 5-1 win. And Kastner, as he leaves him out, standing ovation from the fans there behind the Padre dugout. We'll take a break as Dale Thayer jogs in from the Padre bullpen. Kastner going 7 1/3 shutout innings. He is responsible with one out here in the 8th for Chris Coughlin at first base as Will Venable comes in the game to play right field. Denorfia goes over to left. So Chris Denorfia starts in center. Then he went over to right field and now playing left field.
And great numbers for right-hander Dale Thayer this year. This being his 14th game. Look at that paint on the outside corner of 93 with movement.
It's a great story. No one even gave him a thought. Coming out of Chico State, no one drafted him. Padres signed him as a free agent. Labored in the minors 10 years. Almost gave it up to be a fireman. Stayed with it. Padres gave him another chance. And what a find.
Yep.
It's like going to up into that gold country at Chico State and find them mother lode. Up the middle. There's one. Back to first. Double play. 4-6-3. That's it for the Marlins in the 8th. The Padres maintain their 5-0 lead. Baseball brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Get a quote, get 2 free Padre tickets at mercuryinsurance.com/Padres. And our Carl's Jr. star of the game, yes sir, Andrew Kashner, the tall Texan, 7 in the 3rd innings, no runs, 4 hits, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts, as he gives the Padres his best ever start and fielded his position magnificently. 4 assists from the middle of the mound, including starting that double play.
Well, every aspect of Andrew Kashner's game tonight, he was right on. Early, right out of the chute, he was throwing some fastballs. It looks like he's maybe keeping a little diary there after every outing, going over it in his mind and writing it down in his book. And you know what? That's how you learn for next time, right?
There's something he noticed in the hitters or in his own technique that he wants to improve upon. Good student. Chad Qualls, a former Padre, comes in to work the 8th inning. Veteran right-hander with a great sinker ball. Chad this year making 12 appearances so far, 13 in the 3rd innings, giving up 14 hits and 6 runs.
As you mentioned, Dick, that fastball, he sinks it, mid-90s, slider, and a split from Chad Qualls. Always working from the stretch.
Yonder Alonso starts it with Jed Jerko and Nick Hundley to follow. Alonso has found a magnet between his swings and second baseman Valleca. 2 ground balls and a pop fly to the second baseman. Goes the other way, lines it to the 3rd baseman Polanco. That's a hang with him.
Yeah. Hey, tried to go that way, just off the end of the bat a little bit. He had the right approach. Get him next time.
Jed Jerko steps up. He lined out to the 3rd baseman the last time. He's also grounded to 3rd and hit a 413-foot home run to straightaway center field. Boy, he just has such good stuff. That ball just drops dramatically right at the last 20 feet. You just wonder why he isn't the best relief pitcher around. He'll have stretches of wildness that hurt him. Saw that with the Padres. Goes to a breaking ball.
A slider. Sinker down and in, slider away.
Top of the 9th, it'll be Polanco, Luciano, and Ozuna for the Marlins. Since they are throwing a couple of pitches to get the double play, we presume he'll be out for the 9th. Well, in case you weren't with us earlier, Jerko's first at bat in the 2nd inning, leading off. Got a high fastball from Wade LeBlanc. Planted it to straightaway center field for his 3rd home run of the year. Way inside, fouled off by Jerko. Well, tomorrow, Eric Stoltz, 7 o'clock game, 6:30 our telecast here on Fox Sports San Diego. It'll be Stoltz against one of the local guys, Alex Sanabia from Chula Vista, Castle Park High School, on the mound for Miami. And no pregame on Wednesday, a 1 o'clock game, final game of the 3-game series. Actually, a 12:30 game. It's unusual time, 12:30 on Wednesday. No pregame, but there'll be an hour postgame show as Jason Marquis, now 3-2, goes against the tough right-hander Ricky Nolasco of Miami. Venable, if someone should get on, would bat here in the 8th inning. He's placed in the 9th spot in the order in the double switch. Swung on and missed.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. Thank you very much.
If anyone violates that, you're going to be knocking on their door, huh?
Copyright police.
Nick Hundley, fly to right, walked and scored, and grounded to 3rd. pounds that one foul. And again, Hundley has caught Chad balls when they were a battery here in San Diego.
The old look and the new look. That's awesome.
Line drive up the middle, and what a stop by that young shortstop. Throws and gets him. That's what they're talking about. Echevarria, a brilliant stop and throw from his knees to get Hundley. Oh my. That is a pretty special out. Watch out, National League. Taste of the action tonight at Petco Park, and a 5-0 Padre lead as Dale Thayer goes out to get the final 3 outs with Placido Polanco leading off. How about this? Yesterday the Padres made their hits count. They had 5 hits, 5 runs. Tonight they have 5 hits, 5 runs. And a home run, a spicy part of that total from young Jed Jerko. And Venable also with a home run yesterday. Padres showing some power of late. That's 13 home runs now in the last 9 games.
Taking some good hacks. You know, Dick, in between innings, I was just starting to think, you know, we've got our own Everett Cabrera at shortstop. Pretty darn good shortstop. We've seen Gene Segura and now Danny Echevarria. I mean, those are 3 darn good shortstops in the National League.
That play he just made, spectacular in that when he made the dive, it wasn't right there where his glove was. In the dive, he had to raise the glove up and make the catch. That's where he, look at this. I mean,
yeah.
And then, well, they say he's got a rocket arm, and from his knees throws out Hundley. It's going to be interesting following these young Marlins. And it just shows as we anticipate some of the brilliant talent down in the farm system with the Padres.
Yep.
So we're going to see kids like this come up and make plays and contribute to the future.
And hopefully Everett Cabrera can make us say wow for many years in a Padre uniform. We got ourselves a good one here in San Diego as well.
Deep to center, Amarista.
I don't know about the route he took, but you know what the bottom line is, he squeezed it for the out.
The ball in his glove got together and intersected in time. By the way, the shortstop Adeni Echeverria is Cuban-born, one of 2 on the roster for the Marlins. It takes a left-hand turn there, right to the ball. And they have another young pitcher that escaped from Cuba at age 15. A line drive, no one's going to catch that one until it's fielded in center field as Ruggiano with a solid single. Play started tonight with the Padres only a half game behind the Dodgers to get out of last place, and at the moment Arizona is leading the Dodgers. Should the D-backs win, the Padres will move on to last place for the first time. And we're going to complete our story on Jose Fernandez, the right-handed pitcher from Cuba, who went 7 innings against Philadelphia and allowed only 1 hit, no runs, in a win on Saturday 2-0. Really not enough time to tell the story. Save that one for Wednesday. Only 20 years of age. There's another of the young prospects here, and apparently just an absolutely terrific young guy. And we'll quickly tell it. They escaped in it. He tried to escape 4 times. 3 times they caught him and put him in jail as just a teenager. And he didn't give up. His dad had made it safely to the States. Swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt. And down goes young Ozuna. 2 away. And finally they get in the speedboat, several of them, and they're headed toward the Texas shore across from Cuba. Someone falls out of the boat. He jumps in the middle of the night, doesn't know who fell out, rescues that person, drags them back into the boat, and when he gets that person in the boat, he looks and it's his mother. And they make it all safely. So there's got to be a side of you that'll root for that young man, Jose Fernandez, to have a great career. Strike on the hitter Greg Dobbs, defensive indifference, and Ruggiano goes to second base. Padres don't have a shutout this year. Miami has been shut out 5 times. But they have a man in scoring position, and Greg Dobbs could spoil that shutout party. He's sent a soft liner to short and bounced to the mound twice when Cashner was in there. Just foul out of the reach of Alonso anyway. And the Marlins are down to their final strike.
Well, there's the man of the hour right there. Got some support tonight. 5 runs for Andrew Cashner, and all he did, 7 1/3, 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks.
All the loyal partisans rooting for the Padres here on this Monday night. Lined on one. Hop to Cabrera, bobbles, throws, and still gets him. Well, take that, young Echeverria. I can make the big play as well. And the Padres have shut out the Marlins 5-0, and it ends on a top-notch play by Cabrera. That one's on its way to left field, knocks it down, and does he have an arm? Game over. Padres 5, Miami 0. Padres Live brought to you by Cox with Mike Pomerantz. Let's go to work, man.
You got it.